What's going on? Today we're looking at Penn, Penn, ticker symbol. We're going to do some quick analysis of it. I got referred this. Somebody wanted me to look at the ticker, and it actually looks pretty good to me. I'm going to explain to you why. But first I want to say, guys, everything I'm going to show you, this is not financial advice. Okay? Take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Okay? This video is purely for entertainment. And understand trading is extremely risky. Okay, even though the things that I show you can be convincing, and it might say, oh, it might for sure happen, guys, none of this stuff in the market is for sure. Okay, there's always going to be risk, and you should know how to manage your risk accordingly. Okay, these are just levels that I'm seeing, and like I said, this is my opinion. Okay, none of this stuff can for sure happen, so please, this is not financial advice. Okay, purely for entertainment. We're going to start off always by drawing our low volume zones. What this does, this kind of gives me an indication of where we run out of stuff, right? Also known as support and resistance. People call it many things, but I like to use zones because with support and resistance, it's almost like a like one line or so. Sometimes it's not very it's not as good for me as if I have a zone. It really helps me much more. I'm just checking out here. That one's pretty good there. So you can see, I want to show you guys something with these zones, guys. If you can see, look at this. See how we hold it and we're rejecting? When you see something like this and it's holding and it's rejecting off a low volume zone, now you want to look for when it comes back down and it actually fills the low volume zone. That's a trade. That's a trade if you've ever seen it. So that can be good, especially if you have multiple holds. And when we come over here, you see it holds it multiple times here. That's a good trade. And also, I noticed that here as well, we were holding this zone. Now we're down into it. So I like to consider that as also the same deal going on there. But first, let's verify our zones, the volume profiles. Make sure these are all low volume zones. This one actually can do better. You guys always verify with the volume profile. It helps you, but it's good to do it without it. Then you can see, where the real, so you understand, you don't always need a volume profile, because sometimes, guys, the volume profile is messed up. Sometimes it just doesn't look right because of how volume can come in sometimes, or sometimes you just don't have a volume profile. That one could be a little skinnier there. And yeah, that's about good. So we'll turn that off now. We'll verify that. Let's put a trend here. That's good there. I like to see a trend break coming into a low volume zone. So we do have that. We see a trend break, and we came into this low volume zone, the trend break. We failed it. And now we are holding this low volume zone here. So this level is definitely significant. And now we are grabbing that liquidity. So we're going to put one more trend line here. And this trend break is going to be significant, because this is going to say that this level is now forfeited. It's kind of finished. We're moving on up. It's either going to retest now, or it's going to be coming into the next one. But this kind of consolidation here, or this trend is over. Let's move on to the lower time frame here, maybe the daily. I like that little I like this trend. Yeah, that one's pretty good. And now let's read the volume. I want to read the volume recently, right? Because this is all fun and games. We can always look at just the charts and but we want to look at inventory. Inventory does tell us what is going on, whether or not support is in holding or breaking. A lot of people don't need inventory, but I find it's so helpful for me, so as you could see, buyers are buying higher here in these two green candles. We've got increasing volume here. So I want to say we definitely broke this resistance here. We broke that, and we tried to come back down and retest it, but we just rejected, and we came back up on high volume. So this should not break again. This 2375 support should not break again. So that's ultimately where I would want a stop loss, is below this 2375 zone. I'd really want that, and we can verify that with the trend. As you can see, trend definitely says that. So stop loss for sure going to be under 2375. So I'd put it like 2350 or below 2350. And yeah, it should be a nice, easy trend. But this is actually a trend that you'd see break to the upside just because of how strong that rejection was there, and because of this low volume zone. So it's really imperative that this could move pretty fast. Yeah, so it really looks to me like we're going to be grabbing this liquidity and just shooting back up after we grab it. It's low volume, we've ran out of sellers, so it's not going to be like we're going to hang out here for long. That's the point of a low volume zone, is you don't hang out there for long, guys. You really are just here to get the liquidity. You run out of sellers or blah blah blah, and you get in and you put a tight stop. So if you're going to do this on a larger swing time frame, you put a tight stop below the low that you think is the pivot, and if it breaks that, then and you think it's another pivot, creates another, you put a tight stop. Right? The keyword is tight stop. We're not putting a stop below the zone. We're actually putting it below the pivot. That's what these low volume zones are for, is for just immediate rejection. We ran out of sellers for sure, right? Not high volume zones, guys. Not high volume zones. If we look over here, the highest volume price is $30. That means price likes to hang out around $30. We can see that. Look at how it touches $30 many times. We don't want to put a stop loss above $30 if we're going short, or below $30. We don't want to do that. We want to do it a high volume zone where it's imperative it's going to reject. So that's what I see right now. So this is definitely a breakout trade, and the market kind of looks the same way. If we look at that's kind of a bad example, but right now the market, there's a lot of stocks right now that are breaking downtrend and holding low volume zones, and then we're gaining liquidity and coming back up. So this is definitely a trade I'm going to be looking to take. I already put my alert for 2380. If we come down into that 2375, I have my alert ready. In fact, I'm even going to put it at like 24, just because I think there's a good chance that we could be sideways and come up and make a farther leg up here, and I don't want to miss that. And I already added to my watch list over here. So this 1 hour trend here is going to be pretty important. We should see a break up, and if we see that break up, I'm immediately going to get in. It doesn't matter if we hit this on the bottom here, because remember, these low volume zones, we should see rejection pretty fast. So that's ultimately what I'm going to be looking for. Same thing with Neo. Neo's been kind of the same way here. Came down in the downtrend break, holding the low volume zone, rejected off of it. And so that's going to be a $15 trade I'm looking for. I think I took like $14 calls or something like that on a really far out time frame, since this is a weekly time frame. Excuse me. But yeah, other than that, guys, Penn looking pretty good. I really like that sideways action, and we break down and getting some rejection here, and especially the 1 hour time frame. How this liquidity works, the daily, how this looks, guys, the way it's held support and just rejected, pretty nice off that. I'm liking that a lot. So yeah, good trade here, looks like. Other than that, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.